Okay, so welcome to NRL from the Sidelines here with Tom, Brian and Steve. And this is going to be our first show of the year.
Yay.
How exciting is this? We have slightly rearranged the set and we're going to try and have a new sign coming up for next week. But gentlemen,
we're a work in progress.
We're a work in progress.
That's what we've been for 3 years.
You'll see some changes happening throughout the season, and by the end of the year, we should have it right.
So we can start again next
We'll start
year.
again next year. That's right. Okay, so, gentlemen, welcome back. It's been a long off season.
Yeah,
How do you
It
feel?
has been a long off season.
I feel excited, feeling that anticipation, Steve. Anticipating.
And you're anticipating what?
This. What's the adjective for anticipating?
Anticipatory.
Do you know,
I'm
do you know what
anticipating.
adjective means?
No.
No.
You're in eager anticipation.
I am in eager anticipation.
Oh, that's a good way to start.
Oh, well, we're off to a flyer.
Yeah. Tom, how are you?
I'm good.
Oh, Tom, put it away. I'm going to bring a
Still
little
the
match.
premiers.
A little match and we'll light it up.
Still the premiers.
Tom had to bring this in and show everybody. We've decided because
No,
we're
I
on the
didn't
premiers.
need to bring it because you all know. Okay, so hey, look, milk it. You got to milk it when you get it. It may not happen for a long time.
It won't happen for a long time.
Well, you can say that, but it may not.
I am saying that. It won't happen for a long time. So, gentlemen, we have just endured, nearly 3 months of no football.
Yes.
It's been a long time.
5 months.
5?
Well, for some of you.
Yeah, 5 months for him. Yeah. You must be really struggling. You must be really struggling. Okay, so it's been a long
Yes.
3 to 5 months.
Yes.
And yet it's been the NRL's off-season from hell.
Yeah, and we thought the last couple of seasons have had their own problems, but geez, this has been
A shocker.
topped it off.
Oh,
This has
absolutely.
absolutely been a shocker. And you know what? I don't know that. I don't know what's going on with the young players of today. Look, let's talk generally young people, because a lot of what the players did and got up to, and even to Greg Inglis's drink driving and so forth, it's typical of society at the moment.
Symptomatic.
And I don't want to turn this into a political
but
debate.
it's symptomatic of the age that these kids are
Yeah.
at. But it's also accentuated by the fact that these kids have been given privilege from the age of 13, where a scout has picked them out and says you're going to be something special,
Yep.
and then groomed them up to. Sorry, that's a bad word, but sort of push them along, give them lots of money. And they're made to feel like they can do no wrong, and so really the world's their oyster. I like what Craig Bellamy does with all these players. He sends them to a work site for 2 weeks to tell them what the real world looks like. And you better to do that before they get themselves into trouble and end up like Jake Friend. Jake Friend several years ago got himself into trouble with drinking and lost his contract, worked at a sandwich shop, realised that life was a lot better playing football if he behaved himself. Look what he's done since.
Well, who would like to ask Ben Barber what his life's like right now? I mean, he signed a new contract with the Cowboys.
Beyond belief.
And I haven't
Really,
mentioned
that's
names. I don't want to talk about the issues with those players.
Yep.
Their names are public, but let's not get into the legalities of it. But you're right. I mean, what Ben Barber has lost, and it's just amazing.
See, I always, I hear a lot of people saying, oh, go back to the old days where they had jobs. I don't want players to have jobs. I want them to have the job of being a professional player. The issue that I see is that there's always another young guy coming through, and so you get players like Steve Menzies. So Steve Menzies played 351 games for Manly. Then the club decided, oh, we've got a whole bunch of young blokes coming through. There's no reserve grade. So he goes to England and plays another 3 years.
Yeah.
That's 3 years worth of old head, hard experience of being there, done that the club lost. So in my mind, it's a matter of, we need a strong reserve grade competition, and we need to keep those older players involved playing.
And I heard that when they were in the reserve grade, that was really good for the younger players, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, yeah, apparently, yeah. Because, you had blokes who've been there, done that, or were never going to be more than reserve grade and say, son, you want more than this.
Yeah.
How do you get that? Because, you know, at the moment, you're right, it's, you know, you get to 16, 17, and they're throwing money at you to come and play for your club.
Yeah.
And
your agent is building you up and saying, don't worry, we're going to get you top dollar and you're going to be a fantastic player and everybody wants you and so you start to believe like you can do whatever you want. And that appears to have been happening in, you know, some of the issues over the season. Now all of that is allegations, so we can't say things were definitely done unless there's video evidence, but you know, all of these allegations of the sex tapes and potential abuse, all that sort of stuff appears to come from a symptom of we're in a social media sort of frenzy of everything goes to social media, and on top of that you've got kids who think they can get away with anything.
Yeah, and you know, and look, let's be fair, and in some of these cases, they've done nothing against the law.
Yeah.
You know, a sex act is not against the law. Filming it, you know, without consent is.
Yes.
But in some cases there was consent. I'd also like to see some action taken against the people who are posting this sort of stuff.
Sure.
You know, and look, Mark Geyer is the case where his daughter was mentioned in to be involved in one of these, and it wasn't her.
That's a spurious allegation.
That's right, and just, you know, it really means that these people who are posting this stuff need to be held accountable for doing it in the first place as well.
Sure.
Anyway, look, that's me on my soapbox.
Yeah, it's been a sad off season. Bring on the football.
Yeah,
What are you saying?
cannot wait. All right, let's go on to some football. So, guess what? I had a wonderful experience over the off season. Brian, settle. I met up with Kirisome Auv'aa. Now, Kirisome was the centre in South's 2014 win, and we have an interview with him, hopefully coming up to play. I won't say what night. You'll have to wait and see. It'll be tonight if it works. But yeah, so we've got an interview with him.
And we're hoping to get some more interviews.
And we're going to get some more interviews. We have a couple lined up, don't we, Brian?
We might.
We might, okay.
And,
Brian's our media guy.
And if it's not that, some of our loyal listeners, perhaps we might be able to get some insights from them and maybe even get them on the line.
Our loyal listeners.
Our loyal listeners.
Yeah, we've got lots of them.
Do we?
To the loyal listeners out there, don't be offended because these guys are nuffies, okay?
No, you know, the sad part is we could count them all off on 2 hands.
Oh, come on, that's not
This
fair.
is a great sales pitch from the fearless leader here.
Fearless leader.
Okay.
It's
going to just explode this year.
Yeah. We're going to take this show to new heights this year.
We are.
Let's talk football.
Yes.
In coming up later in this week, we are going to have the kick-off to the season.
Yes.
We're also tonight going to talk about top 8. Would you like to talk about top 8 now, or you want to do it after we talk about games? You've got it on the screen, let's go.
Yep.
Tom, Brian, you both posted your top 8s through the week.
I did, yes.
Okay, so why don't you start with your top 8?
Okay, well I've changed mine since I actually made a top 8 somewhere else and then revised it. So my top 8 at this point in time is...
Why? Because everyone else...
No, just I had certain thoughts earlier in the year. All right, I've got the Roosters at number 1, Panthers at
okay,
number
I didn't
2.
put mine in... Okay, I just did top 4, top 8.
You'd like me to start again?
Yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, because no one was listening anyway.
That's right. As soon as he said, I've got Roosters, that's it. They all switched off.
Roosters at number 1, Panthers 2, Broncos 3, Dragons 4, Rabbitohs 5, Storm 6, Knights 7, and I'm sort of thinking the Cowboys, if they have a good year, will sneak into the 8.
That's interesting. Interesting. Why do you think the Roosters will minor premiers again?
Well, we won the premiership, so I think we've got to be close. We've improved our team from last year. Yes, we lost Ferguson and we lost Madison, which are big losses, but we got Crichton.
So the Tigers can pull in, the Roosters can pull in the Nationals when they lose someone. So
the only team to be able to improve from the grand final the year before.
Yeah, that's right.
The reality is we've improved our team, so we've got just as much chance to win the minor premiership as we did last year.
All right.
That's the reason.
Yeah. Okay, I accept that.
Okay.
Brian, would you like to give everybody, our loyal listeners, your top 8?
Yes, Manly.
So you're going from 16 up, eh?
Because you've been able to improve your team from last year, haven't you?
Well, of course we have, because we didn't win the premiership.
Is Des actually going to play this year, is he?
Oh,
you'd have
dear
to
me.
for Manly to be in the top 8.
I can hand on heart say I would love my team to finish in the top 8. I just don't see it happening.
Okay.
I've actually got. I actually found this. I actually think it's a very. I actually think it's a lot more open than we give it credit for too.
A lot of teams have improved themselves enormously. Yeah.
I too think the Roosters are going to finish on top because being the only team in the last decade to win the comp and improve their roster. What do you say about that?
Jealousy is a curse.
Yeah,
jealousy.
Oh, it is. Yeah, trust me.
But I thought there are a whole bunch of teams that may or may not, depending on a couple of games. So I've actually got Roosters, Broncos, Panthers, Rabbits as my top 4.
Roosters, Broncos, Panthers. Okay.
Yeah. I think
Are you happy about that?
I think the Broncos and the Panthers are dark horses. That's all.
Yeah.
Dragons, Storm, Knights. I put the Sharks in at 8 only because I'm not convinced, but they've got a really good forward pack. I can keep going if you like, but I picked Manly just out of that 8.
Okay.
So what? 9-10 position.
Yeah.
Oh well, you'll be in the wild card anyway.
Tiger. Oh, don't.
Yeah. Can we not even think about doing a wild card?
Either way, I think there's 4 teams that don't have a hope in a single hope of getting into the 8, and that's Titans, Dogs, Warriors, and Parramatta. I think those 4 are destined for the bottom 4.
Warriors.
Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously, if you've got your spines are going to win your games, who's their halfback? We're 1 week out and they've got 2 blokes who haven't played a first grade game.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
they're going to.
and that's no offence to and if Isaac Luke goes down or Roger, they are in a serious amount of trouble.
Yep.
Yeah.
And Sean Johnson directed all of their attack last year.
But you know what? It's not a bad thing that Sean Johnson has gone.
Oh, for
him.
Sean Johnson, it's good.
Yeah. Well, I think for both it's good.
Yeah, well, they're going to have to start again at the Warriors because Sean Johnson, look, he never reached his potential. He might reach it at the Sharks, but he never reached his potential. So, in fact, it was almost a millstone around him and around the Warriors. So, yeah.
Look, and I don't know about Titans.
No, I can't see.
Until they're consistent, I can't see them in the 8. So that's why I put those 4 as my bottom teams.
Okay. Do you want the real top 8?
No, we'll have yours.
This is what's actually going to happen.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. What?
I'm just
and I got to tell you, I didn't put these in order.
but his first team.
You've got to put them in order.
The first team out of his mouth will be the Rabbitohs, people.
Well, it is, but only because I didn't put them in order. My top 4 is South, Roosters, Dragons, and Panthers.
Right.
Okay, so we've only got 1 different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then the next 4 will be Knights, Storm, Broncos, Tigers.
Tigers.
So you've gone the Tigers over the Sharks, otherwise they're the same, Steve.
Yeah, I think the Sharks are going to struggle this year.
Mm.
Now, Wooden Spoon is a 3-way. I can't separate Manly, Para, or Dogs.
That's harsh.
He's a hater.
Oh, I'm a hater.
He's a hater.
Yeah, I think it'll be between the Dogs and Para.
Well, let's face it. Look out there, viewers, listen.
No, listen.
Listen,
Linda,
viewers.
listen.
Listen. I put the Roosters and the Rabbitohs in my top 4.
Yeah, and I put Manly in my bottom 8.
And Steve's picked my team to win the spoon. There's only one bit of hate here.
Brian, it's business. Okay?
It's hate.
It's not
it's
personal.
business.
It's hate. It's hate.
It's business.
Do you want a box of tissues?
It's jealousy. That's
You
jealousy.
want a
at
box
its
of
best.
tissues?
Steve so wants to crush the mighty Eagles.
Not as much as
They're not going to win the
Roosters.
wooden spoon with Des Hasler there.
I don't think so either.
I tell you what, if he hadn't been there this year, I seriously thought that they could have gone.
Come on.
No, seriously, but I don't think Des will let that happen.
Okay, let's just talk about a couple, not talk about everybody, but Cronulla.
Ooh,
Did you pick them in your top 8?
No.
Did you?
Oh, I did, but it was an agonising decision.
They've just lost James Seguiaro.
Yeah, they hadn't signed him when I put my 8 together.
Well, they had signed him, and then they've been told by NRL they have to get rid of him.
Yeah.
And I just think the turmoil in the club is now really going to affect them. Seriously, they've lost him. They have to play under the cap. So
I'm going to lose somebody else. I think
they're going to lose someone else.
Yeah,
and I just think they've got a few players who are going to struggle. They're getting. Gallen's getting older.
Yeah. Wade Graham's injured.
Wade Graham's getting older. I just think that
Luke Lewis, that's a big loss.
That's fine. Manly will sneak in the 8, then that's fine.
Yeah, no. How do you think John Morris is going to go as coach?
Well, I don't know John Morris's coaching, so no idea.
No one does.
Yeah, that's right. He's an unknown factor. It's like Bennett at the Rabbitohs and Seabold at the Broncos. Unknown factors, because until you see him play, you don't know what style of
Okay, great segue. Seabold at the Broncos. How's he going to go?
I think he'll go all right.
He's got an impressive young pack to work with, doesn't he?
And it's not a bad backline either.
Oh, yeah.
To be perfectly honest.
So he's got plenty of cattle to work with.
And mind you, it's not much different to what they had last year.
Yeah, but different coaching styles. I think it's going to be, because when you think about it, where did they finish? They finished 3rd or 4th. And the last couple of years, Broncos have finished in the top 4 or 5.
The Broncos finished 6th last year.
Was it 6th? Well, they've been a top 18 for the last 2 or 3 years. I think Seabold will improve them.
I think the difference is Jack Bird. He was brought into the Broncos to play that utility role, fill in at 5'8", run the ball.
Yep.
And he was injured all last year. And really, I think it was their halves that kept letting him down last year. And so I think that it's a good thing.
And you can only hope for the Broncos' sake that the coach is going to do something different with the halves. It remains to be seen.
That'll be where they'll struggle, but I think in the halves. But I think that overall they've got such an enthusiastic young pack.
Yep.
They'll start the season with a bang. Either way, I wouldn't be surprised if they win their first 8 or 9 games. To be perfectly honest, I think they are going to be really enthusiastic. Mid-season will be the tell.
Come State of Origin.
Yeah, I think State of Origin just after will really affect the Bronx.
Okay, Panthers.
I thought you were going to talk about Bennett. Okay, Panthers.
I don't, because I know what you're going to say, I know what you're going to say, I know what I'm going to say about Bennett, so.
Okay. I don't know what you're going to say.
Panthers?
Grand final.
Well, look, the Panthers are going through already some real turmoil. There could be more to come, who knows? And look, you just wonder how destabilising that is for the club.
Yeah.
They've always got young players coming through. They've got a few old heads, but mostly they're quite young and raw players. It depends on how they actually cope with all of that.
That's exactly my point. That was, as I said earlier, they brought Trent Merrin into the club. Why did they bring Trent Merrin in? Well, there was a State of Origin Australian back rower, and Phil Gould said he's the kind of guy who we want to build our culture around.
Yeah.
So he signed a 3-year deal, and they cut him 1 year in. I don't know.
Yeah, they make some strange decisions.
I don't understand the Panthers. They've got a great young team, but I just don't understand. You know.
Is Ivan Cleary the answer to their
I don't know.
season?
Don't know. Wish he was at Man. Being a Manly junior and all.
Ivan Cleary.
Yeah.
Okay, what about the Titans?
They bought well.
Yeah, they have.
Got some really good players. I mean, they got Peachy,
McCulloch.
No,
McCulloch from who was the Bronco player that came down?
Anyway, professional life.
But they bought a few good names. And Shannon Boyd, that's right. There was a couple of big guys I think they bought.
Yeah, they bought some big boxes.
So they should do better than they've been doing, and I think they finished like middle of the lower half last year, 12th, 11th, 12th, 13th, something like that.
But you definitely can't see them making the 8.
I've got them in the bottom 4.
Really?
Yep. They're just not consistent enough. I can't see a team that continually loses and blows leads finishing in the top 8.
Okay.
Brimson's a real talent. It'll be interesting to see how he goes
Well,
this year.
they're talking about starting him on the bench. Like,
really?
why would you start him on the bench?
Oh, he's too good a player.
Like, make your choice and run with it. Like,
Run with it.
yeah.
He should be playing fullback, I think.
Michael Gordon apparently has got the inside running.
Surprised Michael's still there, Flash, that he got another season. And because he was ready to retire before he came to us. So.
Okay. I should say. Do you want to talk Tigers?
No.
No, Tigers.
Mitch Maguire?
Won't make a difference.
See, I think it will. I think he's going to add some steel to them that they never have in the last couple of years.
I think that is true. That's true. That's true, I think.
And they've bought reasonably well.
Well, it depends.
Yeah,
How much do we take out of trial games?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, good, because the Tigers offered nothing.
Yeah.
No, I know.
So,
Yeah, look, it's going to take a while for them to get into the coach's scheme of things. Ryan Madison has gone there from the Roosters.
Yeah.
He's actually on the cusp of his best form now.
Yeah.
He was sensational last year. We're going to really miss him. His defence is really good. He can play a number of positions: centre, back row, and half. You know, so he's going to be a real addition to them.
Yeah.
They also got Momorowski, I think, who was a fringe player at the Roosters. He's again a developing player. So look, it's too early to say. They've still got Benji and they've still got Robbie in the twilight of their careers. So
way past the twilight of their careers.
And their backup is Josh Reynolds, who at best is
way past the twilight of his career.
Well, he just never reached his potential. I don't think. You know. Anyway.
Yeah, look, I don't know. I just can't see it happening.
Yeah.
Melbourne. Storm. Interesting one. No Billy Slater now. Obviously no Cooper Cronk. They're having to shuffle a few. And Smith's a year older.
Drinkwater went down out for 4 months.
gone.
So he was the Billy Slater replacement.
And they shuffled around halfbacks last year and couldn't get it right.
They still finished in the grand final.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Which is amazing.
Actually,
you know, which means they beat 14 other teams.
I struggled to leave them out of my top 4, but that's exactly. But your thoughts just then were exactly why I didn't put them in my top 4.
Yeah.
Cameron Smith's a year older. They've lost Billy Slater, and they had trouble with the halfback last year.
Yeah.
So, you know, how do you? They haven't overcome those issues.
Yeah. And they've lost a few players. They lost Glasby.
Yep.
Cassiano during the week.
Not that he played many games
Well, that's
anyway.
right. They're over the cap again anyway, same as you guys.
Can you believe Cameron Smith saying
Oh,
this?
don't.
Seriously,
Oh.
because he believes the Sharks should have lost their premiership and they didn't, that now they should be given back their premierships. Now the problem is that the answer is the opposite. If he believes that, he should say, well, Sharks should lose theirs because we lost ours.
Yeah, but did you hear Paul Gallen? They take the premiership off us. I'm throwing him a premiership ring and put him right now.
And people who have
Can
avoided.
I just say I agree with him?
Oh, of course you do.
No, I agree with him. But I agree with what
Agree
you're
with
saying.
Cameron Smith.
Yes.
He's the one that had the 2 contracts in his filing cabinets. I read that and it's factual.
Yeah.
And he has the hide to say that. Seriously.
I agree with him that you can't judge the same issue 2 different ways.
I agree with that.
But
it's taking the wrong bent on it.
No, that's not. That's exactly what he was saying.
Hang on.
He was saying that if you're going to leave Cronulla with their premierships, you give Melbourne back there.
I get his reasoning, but what he's saying is,
Well,
if you commit a crime and then they commit a crime, we should resolve everybody.
No, that's not what he said. He said everybody should be equal.
The
Judged equally.
difference is that Melbourne were systematically brought into
So,
the cap.
listen,
No.
so was
When
Cronulla.
players are signing 2 contracts, the players are compliant in what happened. The Sharks, their administration bought players. You don't go around everyone else. I don't say, hey Steve, what did you earn this weekend? Tom, what did you earn? You don't do that if you're a player. You don't do that to your mates. You don't do that.
That's
Full
right.
stop. That was the administration that let them down. The Sharks players didn't go around and sign additional contracts that they could be registered under the cap.
you can
Melbourne rorted the cap.
You can rob a bank 3 different ways, but it's still robbing a bank.
Correct. And so therefore the answer is not to restore the premierships, it's
Okay.
actually to have justice
And that's what he
for
said.
everybody else.
Take Cronulla's away.
Yep,
If you're going to
absolutely.
take Melbourne's away, go by the same standards and take Cronulla away. Or, if you're going to leave Cronulla, give us ours back. I don't disagree with
Who
that.
cares? I hate Melbourne. I hate the Sharks. Get rid of them both.
Now, we do have some Melbourne and Sharks
Yeah.
supporters, and we thank you for
Sally.
watching this show.
Sally knows. I've argued with Sally. We're all right. Right, Sally?
Sally has friends who might want to watch it, so
Have you finished talking about the clubs?
Yeah, I have. Let's move on.
Can we mention the World Club Challenge? It happened. It happened.
Oh, man.
Like, I would have mentioned it had you been in it or Manly been in it.
Let's mention it. Okay, no. Look, let's give
Oh,
credit
actually-
where credit's due.
Yeah, let's Tom.
Hang on,
Can we time Tom and then we can have a say?
No.
No, let's give
Yeah,
credit.
Club
No
Challenge.
right of reply.
What I
The
really like.
Roosters, what we should talk about though, is
Yeah.
the Roosters winning the grand final,
Yep,
and give credit where it's due, and then yes, the Roosters going on to win the World Club Challenge.
yep.
they did well. I was impressed with the way they played. I don't think England threw a lot at them.
And look, first hit out for the season since the grand final. But what I think was really special about that trip was what they did with going over to France. They trained with some of the players from Toulouse, which in the second tier competition. But also Trent Robinson's right about history, all about history. He took them to the Villas Bretonneau. He showed them the war fields. He showed them the memorials. And even the New Zealand players did a haka at the New Zealand Memorial, which was really special.
Yeah.
And so I'm always impressed with the way Trent Robinson likes to get his players to become better men. I mean, all coaches should be doing that, but he's got an emphasis on making them better men.
Sure.
And I think that's really impressive. So as much as it was great to win, 20 points to 8, it was a pretty solid win. I think the whole trip was really good, and hopefully it sets our season up. So.
Do you have anything to say about the game, Steve?
No, like I said, I thought I was impressed with the way the Roosters didn't. They seemed to carry on from the grand final. I don't think the English team threw an awful lot at them.
Well,
they never looked like they were going to lose.
Can I just say, I actually thought it was refreshing, the commentary and the refereeing. There were a couple of absolute clangers of decisions. In one particular instance, it was so long ago, please forgive my hazy little memory, the ball clearly went out. The guy carrying the ball, he was out.
Yep.
Touch judge didn't say anything. Referee played on. The commentators went, and kept on commentating. They didn't show a replay of it. There wasn't 37 replays and somebody saying, no, we can't have that.
Robert Hicks is a really good ref. He ref that game.
It was refreshing.
Yeah.
Like, you could have picked up, if you were being picky, you could have picked up 20 mistakes that the ref had made.
But I bet you there were half and half.
The commentators hardly said a word about it. I think they said once, well, that looked a little forward. And that was it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just thought it was magnificent. Because if that had happened in Australia, regardless of the outcome, it would have been front page, back page news, and on every talkback radio that you could have possibly tuned into, how bad the refereeing was.
Yeah.
And interestingly, England have put a hold on the 2 referee system. That's why Matt Checkin's coming back to the NRL, which is great.
Yeah.
I think that's really good news for referees in Australia.
Yes. And while we're on there, don't get on your soapbox so early, Brian.
He wants to.
No. I'll tell you what I'm in fear of at the moment with the NRL is that the decisions that they're making, I feel as though if they're the wrong call, the NRL won't turn around and say, sorry folks, we got it wrong. Mm-hmm. So this whole garbage about a wildcard system and rewarding mediocrity, if they decide to run with that, they won't say in 2 years' time, oh, geez, that was a stinker, we got it wrong. They'll just keep ploughing on and saying we got it right. The 2 referees were supposed to be in vogue for 2 years, where it was going to be reviewed. Never been reviewed. Every time it's mentioned, the NRL hierarchy say, oh, fantastic, yes.
And if you poll 1,000 fans, you'll get probably 950 saying go back to one referee.
I'd say 985, but anyway. Yeah, I'm just, if they can't say that they've got things wrong, they're not superhuman. They're just.
We all make mistakes.
But in the old days, if the ref got it wrong, you blow up for a few seconds and you get on with the game.
Yeah.
Well, that's right. I mean, the players couldn't stop and blow up.
That's right.
There was no replay of it. Yeah. There was no second ref overruling him. It was just, we know he stood on the line. Yeah. Well, keep playing because they've still got the ball.
Well, look at the rugby. The little rugby that I've seen. Apparently the rules are ridiculously complicated. But the ref will go blah blah blah, and they go and move on.
Yeah.
They go, well, what's the point?
Yeah.
The ref's not going to change his decision.
So that was my highlight of the game actually. I mean, you won the comp, improved your roster, and Brett Morris was a buy and scored 3 tries.
The pressure's on Brett Morris to tell you after 3 tries.
So the season started off with South winning the Charity Shield. Well, if he can say it.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah, we went and watched that game.
The season started when Des Hasler signed for Melbourne.
that's where your season started going down. Okay, let's talk about this week. Round 1.
Yay!
The big number
Round
1.
one.
We've waited weeks and weeks and weeks.
Pity was starting with this ball fest. Anyway.
No, it was.
It should be
Well,
good.
anyway, I won't
Game.
say that.
Should be good.
Amy Park, Thursday night, Melbourne Storm against the Brisbane Broncos. This is Anthony Seibold's opportunity to show just what he can do with his new team.
Well, I've gone out on a limb and picked the Broncos by 4. Who knows what's going to happen? Storm at home, always difficult, but I think the Broncos will be able to prove a point.
So
Make
do I.
a statement.
Yeah, I've gone Broncos as well. Grant?
Yeah.
Really?
Yep. Why?
Oh, I've gone Storm.
It's okay, you're entitled to your opinion.
You're totally wrong, don't you?
Why? Why would I go Storm when you guys have gone Broncos? You make me second guess myself.
Well, think of where you put them in the 8.
Yeah, I put the
I know
Broncos
that's
above
the,
them.
That's the end of the season, but still.
Yeah, that's it. I've now given the kiss of death to.
But I also think that Anthony Seibold's he wants to prove a point, I think, and he'll want to come out and play guns blazing, I reckon.
No, look, I've gone Storm. I think at home they'll have the point to prove.
Okay.
Brisbane travelling, still no halves. I'm going to go to Storm on that one.
Okay, let's go to McDonald Jones Stadium on Friday night where the Knights play the Sharks.
I just realised I should be looking at my tips.
This is a flip. This is a flip of the coin for
Yeah.
me. I think that the Knights started off their season really strongly last year. I think their defence let them down a little bit. I don't know how that's going to be changed this year because they've only bought attacking players. But I've gone the Knights.
And I've gone the Knights as well.
Okay, I mean, I actually have gone Cronulla. I'm tossing up on this one.
And I think it's the same story. They're at home, the Knights are at home,
That's right.
they're going to want to start strong.
Yeah. Okay, Sydney Cricket Ground. Which,
Well,
if you read today's paper,
Oh yeah, did you hear about that?
What?
Yeah.
No, I didn't read
They
today's
had-
paper.
they had
The Waratahs and the Reds.
they tore the
Shoot.
tore it
Of
up.
course, rugby union's a terrible game for football fields.
But I tell you what, for them to do that sort of damage, they obviously only returfed a couple of weeks ago anyway. And no, honestly, they were running out through the game, having to patch holes and all
So
sorts
that's
of stuff.
bad for blokes' knees and things. So
Greg Inglis, thank you very much.
They should play it at
you should
Brookvale.
probably wait till round 2.
I tell you what, I'm really not happy. Have you ever watched a game at Sydney Cricket Ground? It's a terrible place. It's even worse than Brookvale.
Yeah, no, everybody's telling me that, and I'm
Shocking.
not looking forward to the fact that you're a long way away from the play.
Yeah, you won't.
Yeah, actually, I haven't actually watched a
And
game
we're
like
going to be there for
that.
at least 2 years, which
Yeah.
is 2 seasons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be.
Okay,
well,
so-
depending on who wins the state election, it could be longer than
Yeah,
that.
that's right. Yeah, exactly.
Well, don't bring politics
So
into it.
you and I know who's going to tip who.
Yeah.
So who are you tipping?
Brian, you're the
Casting vote.
yeah.
I'm going to go the Roosters.
And remember too that almost every season, round 1 leads to Rabbitohs and Roosters. The Rabbitohs usually get the better of us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to hear my reasoning?
Sure.
Uh,
Flawed, obviously.
Rabbitohs up.
no. Like I think the Rabbitohs will win a lot of games this season, but
A lot of
I think coming off the Charity Shield wasn't a tough match for them, and I think that travelling to England. Now, you know what? I'm going to go to the Rabbits.
Yeah. What are you
What am I
doing?
doing?
Talk
They're
yourself
coming
out
back.
of
They're
it.
coming back. Yeah, look, but it's just one of those games that could go either way, and I
So
no, I'm going to the Rabbits.
It's the same reason Bennett will be fired up as well
Yes.
to prove a point. He knows the history. He'll want to prove a point. So there's probably going to be a lot of illegal hits from
Nah,
Sam Burgess.
I'm back on
and,
the Roosters.
A lot of swinging arms from Sam Burgess.
You're right, and they'll get away with them all, so it's the Roosters.
Yeah, so, okay, fine.
I'm helpful tonight.
you haven't changed a bit in the off season. Let me tell you. Okay, let's go to Saturday night where the Warriors play the Dogs
Mount
in
Smart
Mount
Stadium.
Smart.
You'd have to go to Warriors, seriously.
Yeah, I have.
Can't see Canterbury winning away first game.
I'm kind of tempted to go to the Dogs.
Wow.
Okay.
I said, the Warriors just don't have halfback.
Can we
I
pause?
just,
I've got to sneeze.
No.
I
It's coming.
just don't know if you can pick the Warriors early on. I think this is battle of the wooden spoon.
I think the Warriors in a trial, Warriors were pretty good in the trial, weren't they?
Yeah, what? You just told me trial 4 meant nothing.
Yeah, but
No,
know.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I've gone Warriors in this one.
Yeah, I'll
Okay.
go the Warriors at home too.
Leichhardt Oval, Tigers against the Sea Eagles.
I'm really sorry, Brian.
Oh.
It's at home. It's at Leichhardt Oval.
It's at Leichhardt, it's Robbie Farah, it's Benji Marshall, it's a new coach.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's two 50-year-old blokes that they're taking out in wheelchairs.
50-year-old.
You on the phone, are you boring you or something?
No, I'm trying to look up a
Okay.
stat.
Okay.
I'm going to look up a stat, but that's okay.
I've
Continue.
got
on.
You're
Tigers.
going-
No, Manly. Even without Tommy and no 5'8" and those young blokes at the backs who no one's ever heard of.
No Brian Kelly. Here's another one who went to the Titans.
Oh, yeah. How
good
did you
on
let him go? We raved about him.
I thought he's, you know what?
He's about to hit his straps.
No, he's got another couple of years, but yeah.
You're not
He's
gonna
you know what? He's going to go to the Gold Coast, play 2 more years up there, then come back to us a much better player.
Yeah, or go to the Roosters for double the money. Okay, let's move on
We
to...
couldn't fit him in. We've got too many good players.
Never stopped you before. Let's move on to 1300 Smiles Stadium where North Queensland Cowboys boys...
They haven't finished the stadium yet, the new stadium, is that right? Or have they just renamed it?
I have no idea.
Because the new stadium is in the process of being built in Townsville.
Is it?
Yeah, I mean the Floods may have held it off, but,
No idea.
but yeah, it's in progress, so I thought it might have been finished this season.
Okay.
Anyway.
Against Georgia Illawarra.
Yeah, look, I picked North Queensland at home. I still think, yeah, look, it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tight game, I think. Because I'm still not sure where the Cowboys are at.
I know where the Cowboys are at. Nowhere.
Yeah.
Go the Dragons.
Yeah, I've gone Dragons in this one.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Barry. I've tipped North Queensland. I could very easily be wrong about that.
Okay. All right, let's go to Sunday's game. Penrith Panthers and the Parramatta Eels at the new... Oh, no, this is at Penrith Stadium. This one.
Easter is when this...
Easter's the first one, that's right.
Penrith.
I don't know.
Right.
Is that noise Brian's brain ticking over?
Yeah.
Tick, 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 tick.
It's a big hollow space there.
I'll have to straighten that fan.
Well, Panthers are in trouble off the field, but Parramatta have got nothing. Nothing. So go the Panthers.
Yeah, I've gone Panthers as well. Okay, and the last one, 6:10 on the Sunday night, is Gold Coast Titans against the Canberra Raiders.
I'm actually going to go the Raiders.
Yeah, I've gone the Titans because it's at home. In fact, I've tipped everybody with the Broncos at home. Everybody with the Storm at home this round.
Oh, I've only picked 2 away teams.
And in a sense, because it's a new season, and when there's not much between them, I figure, well, home ground might count for something.
Yeah.
So,
There's a lot of games. There's a lot of games this week with not a lot between them. I think it'll be a good 4 or 5 weeks before we've got the form really well and truly under our belts, and I'll be picking all winners.
Like you do every season.
So it gives me great pleasure to welcome Premiership winning Kirisome Auv'aa to NRL from the Sidelines. Welcome, Kirisome.
Thanks, mate. Pleasure to be here.
Thank you. You were born in Samoa and played your junior football in New Zealand before moving to Queensland as a teenager and playing for the North Ipswich Tigers. You then played for Melbourne in the under-20s between 2010 and 2012, and in 2013 you won the New South Wales Cup for Cronulla. Did you always play in the centres during your junior years?
Yeah, funny that. Yeah, right from the underage groups to a professional level, I've always played at the centre position.
Wow, okay. And then South signed you in 2014, and there's been a lot of talk in the media about how tough Michael Maguire is to coach his players, but you seem to thrive in that environment. Did you find the training tough under Michael Maguire?
I mean, like from what we see on TV, it's a small window into in what we do as players and especially our coaches. But anyway, it's tough. If you want to make it in top league or wherever field you're in, it's gonna be a tough road to get to where you want, and for you to achieve your goals. So and certainly that is the environment in rugby league as a whole. It's tough pre-season. So I've been at 3 clubs now, and all similar pre-seasons. They're tough. It's a long 2-3 months of getting your body ready for the season ahead. So
yeah, especially in sometimes what you're doing 35, 40 degree temperatures as well, I can imagine.
Yeah, especially in summer.
Yeah, that's tough. Okay, so by the end of 2014, you played in the 2014 Grand Final and scored a try. to play in and win an NRL Grand Final must have been a wonderful experience. What was it like running out in front of 90,000 screaming football fans?
Yeah, so both teams actually didn't run out for to warm up until obviously the game time. So we both did our warm up in the sheds underneath the stands, and even then you can feel the environment. You can feel how the fans packing in, and when we did run out, you really couldn't hear yourself. There was so many people there. You look to the crowd trying to see your family and friends that have come down, and you really can't make a noise. There's too many people there. When you're talking, you got to scream just for one of your teammates to hear you. So it was just the most surreal experience running out to a full house.
I could imagine.
It was red and green, and
I can imagine.
It was bad to remember.
Did you find your family and friends in the crowd? You know, that sea of faces?
Not really. It wasn't until right at the end when we started scoring a lot more, like a few more tries, that I got more time to just take it all in and look and try and look for them. So I think it was either George Burgess' try or my try that when I went back to set up for the kickoff, that I looked to the side, and it was only then that I realized that I seen my mates and my parents.
Yeah. Wow.
So yeah, before that it was just into them. You know, you're just in game mode.
Yep.
You're in the zone.
You're in the zone.
Focus fully on the game. Yeah.
Good on you. So the game was very tight up until about 20 minutes to go. Did you always have a sense that South would go on to win? I mean, I was there at the game, and honestly, it was a great game to watch, but South only really started scoring those tries towards the end. Did you have a sense that it was always going to be in your favour?
As a player, as a competitor, when you go into games or competition, you play to win. So
yep.
I don't think there was any doubt in my mind or any of my teammates' mind that we were going to lose that night. It was tight, and that made it a good game. But I think throughout the whole year, we just prepared for moments like that, and it paid dividends that night.
Right. So who's the player that you've enjoyed playing with the most, be it from South or from any other team?
I would have to say there's a couple that come to mind. It's like picking your favorite player. You're trying to pick the one of your favorite like ice creams or whatever. But it's one of them is Sam Burgess. Just the way he went on about his training and getting his body prepared right throughout the whole season. And half those games he played busted. So for him to put his hand up and keep playing when his body was actually hurt, it's really inspiring. And being my first year at South, that was, you know, you sing that as a player and you're like, man, what's a little niggly injury that I have? Like, this guy's playing half broken most games that year. So he was a really good example for me. And the other player was named Alex Johnston.
Okay.
So it was our first year together, and just watching growth throughout that year was something special.
Yeah, he's certainly grown as a player. There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the one thing I notice about all athletes is that they have an amazing sense of discipline. This could be a commitment to their training, to their health, to their team. What's the most important lesson you've learnt through your league career?
Okay, so gentlemen, that brings us to the end of our show. We've been through our top 8, we've been through round 1, we've listened to a great interview with Kirisome Auv'aa.
If you want to be a rugby player, if you want to take the rugby league as a profession and
we've had to listen
play
to
in the
Tom
NRL,
talk about the Roosters.
you really, once you make that decision, you can't really live any other life. So,
No,
and
we're
then
not
I think
Terry
so,
Shields,
so
it's okay.
you can't have the best of both worlds, where you're playing footy and you're playing in front of heaps of
Got the illusions of
fans,
grandeur.
Are you in fantasy?
you have this great gig as a
Oh, that's
NRL
what I was
player,
thinking.
but
Oh, yeah, that's what I was going to
So,
say.
Right.
away
so
from that,
fantasy, yeah. So you're talking about fantasy.
Yeah, sorry,
there's
sorry,
the
Nat.
war speed
Ignore the
inflation
old
in
man.
a way
Yeah,
where
who doesn't want to have
you tempted to
have
go
a
another
doesn't
week
have
out
a
on the
crack.
How
weekend,
many people have you
living
got in your fantasy?
Oh, not many. We
like
need
what your
you
friends
listeners out there.
that work other
Fantasy
jobs.
league.
So
It's a great way to kill
can't
time.
really have like those worth in terms of that.
You
So
see, that's not
once
right,
you
because you might be a
decide you
boss.
want to be an NRL player,
Fantasy league. It's a great
all
way to
out.
actually get to know
That's
players
who
from
you
your
are.
teams, because you can't just pick top line players.
And that's the life
You can't
you
just pick
sort of
players
have to
from your
conduct
team.
yourself.
You actually have to sit and have a look at
The
the
everyday.
strengths and weaknesses of various teams.
So
and
in
positions.
2017,
So,
you
yeah,
signed
go
with the
for it. I'll
Parramatta
put up the
Eels in a
competition.
game
Is that the
against
same as
Brisbane in
Supercoach?
round 25.
Right.
You
So can
scored
you
what
put
was
up the
considered to be the
details for that
fastest
and
try
the
in
tipping
rugby league
competition
history.
will
Yes.
try and
From the
get people
kickoff
involved
to the
as
try
well?
was
I'll do that.
12.88 seconds. Can you talk us
So
through that
should we have a
try?
tipping competition for NRL from the sidelines?
Ooh,
Yeah, there was a lot that was going into that game.
What a great idea.
A
Let's
few
do
weeks
it.
earlier
Genius.
when we versed the
I can
Broncos,
replay
that
they
all
said
the time.
Be quiet, Mr.
that
Boy.
was
You better get organised
fastest
now.
game.
Okay, yeah, we'll get that organised. So
Right
Brian,
now.
recorded in
our-
NRL
the
from the
season
sidelines
where the
with
ball was in play
an official
more
fantasy league
than any other
comp.
game.
Yeah.
It'll be the Supercoach
And,
one, and we'll have a tipping comp.
When we
Our
won
IT
that
expert will
game,
get that
there was
organised.
talks about
Okay,
how
gentlemen, this brings
it was
the
a lucky
end.
win for us.
As usual.
We were going to be
Things on
ambushed
the run.
when we did eventually
Oh, that's what makes the show so good.
play
Spontaneous.
Brisbane
We're
4
awesome.
days later, and then that game, leading up to that game, we were just reminding ourselves of what was said in the press after the previous game. We versed them, and yeah, it was just a lot of nerves. And given that we're playing Broncos at home, and obviously they get their fans rally behind their team, and the game's always tough up there.
Yeah.
But then, yeah, I was just in a lucky spot, lucky time. I was just fortunate enough to pounce on a loose ball and just put the ball down. It was just unconventional for someone to offload the ball in the first tackle, and
That far out from the line, yeah.
yes, especially that far out from the line. And I was just lucky enough to be in the right place at the right time.
Well, due to injury, you decided to retire in 2018 after only 6 games with Parramatta in 2018. Was this a difficult decision to make after the injuries you decided to retire? Was that tough?
Yeah, it was. It was playing on my mind heavily throughout the year. I think I was injured at the time, another injury, and but obviously my back has been something that I've always been susceptible to pain, and just comes throughout since my surgery, and it's been, yeah, it was the hardest decision to make. I spoke to my manager and let him know what was going on in my head at the time, and he was obviously shocked, and my psychologist that I've been working with for a few years, she was shocked. It was pretty much the same reaction from everyone that I've told. And when I initially broke it out to the team in the last round of last season, yeah, I pretty much it took me a while to even blurt out a few words.
Yeah.
I just stood in silence in front of everyone, I just couldn't say a word until I had to recollect and gather myself before actually starting to talk. But it's been hard since, just coming to terms with it, and especially seeing everyone back at training, and really the season's about to start. But yeah, it's something I've got to deal with and just adapt to going forward.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I can hear it in your voice. It's still a difficult thing to talk about. So where to now for you, Kirisome? I believe you're heading to mission for your church?
Yeah, so pretty much tomorrow I leave to serve a mission as a missionary for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, and yeah, so it's exciting times ahead. Obviously something new, and it's obviously kind of anxious at the same time because the fear of the unknown. But I'm excited and I'm looking forward to starting my mission.
Okay, excellent. So, once your mission is complete, would you like to return to the game in any capacity? Are you interested in coaching or administration or something like that?
I haven't really thought about it too much. I would definitely be attending games as far as that is concerned, but to a coaching capacity or something in that nature, I'm not too sure yet.
Okay. All right. Well, look, thank you very much for your time today. I really do appreciate it, and I wish you all the best with the future and with your mission.
Thanks, mate. Thanks for your time.
No, thank you. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.
Yeah, mate.
Would you like to say anything before we go? Is
I
there
did.
anything?
I did. I'm awesome now to win the comp.
Okay, I didn't want you in fantasy land, but okay. Nothing realistic.
No,
Nothing
that's
genuine.
it.
No.
Nah, look, genuinely, thanks for watching, guys. It's great.
It's not the end of the year, it's the
I
beginning.
prefer the other Brian.
I'd be nice, I get bagged, or not, I get bagged.
Friday night we'll be there.
Yes,
SCG.
yes,
should
we'll
be
start
Are
there.
you guys going down?
Should be a great game.
Yeah, I'm not
Oh,
sure.
what a bunch
We're
of
going to have to
losers.
talk about this.
Really? What?
Oh, because it's so bad to watch a game from there.
Oh,
Just
well.
go, you sook.
Oh, you're just saying we shouldn't go.
I've got
and now I'm saying we shouldn't go, and
I've
you're
got,
saying
I've
I'm
got
so.
members' tickets to that ground. I've got to go there every time I go for 2 years.
You
so-
got. They should pay you to turn up there.
Gee, you're really selling it well.
No, I'm serious. It's a shocker.
It's a great place to watch cricket.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I agree.
You're a long way from the action, but it's a great place to watch cricket.
Okay, this brings our show to an end, gentlemen. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you everyone for watching. This is round one. We're excited. Let's get on to the
Can't wait.
football and
Oh,
let's
yeah.
get out of all this other
Let's
stuff.
bash 'em.
All right, thanks for joining us all. Bye bye.
See ya.
See ya.